Today we are going to talk about taking your passport with you, an interesting cruise story from Singapore that includes a bomb on a ship perhaps. Also, I've got my Northern Lights shirt on, so I'm going to talk to you about that. Also, some more news from the Sun Princess I wanted to recap from yesterday, how to get traditional dining easy peasy on Princess, and I would hope it would work on other cruise lines, but I've seen it been working very successfully here on board. What else are they selling on board? Some things that we noticed that are for sale on this cruise that I hadn't noticed before, and lots more to talk about, including the coffee on board. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Saturday. It is October 14th of 2023. So I want to start off by letting you know this is our group shirt. We've got our Northern Lights t-shirt here that is just for our group here on this group cruise, and it was kind of fun. We're popping in a picture here to show you. We took our group picture today. It was really fun. We've been getting together quite a bit. We have dinner together most nights. Well, Gordon and I are always there, and then sometimes people have different dining on other nights, but overall we have had a lovely time dining together a lot on this cruise, as well as on sea days. We've played some cards, we've done some art projects, we've just had a really nice time. Sometimes we go to the shows together. Sometimes people go into town together. We've been on the same excursion, just lots of really fun things. It has been a really, really rewarding group cruise. I wanted to tell you that. If you, the other really cool thing about this is our daughter-in-law designed this, and this is the best Northern Lights t-shirt you're gonna find. We have actually, and a couple of people mentioned it in our group here on board, that they had been looking as well for t-shirts. It's always fun when you go somewhere to see what they've got. And we had thought, well, maybe we'll get another Northern Lights t-shirt as well, or something like that. So we have been looking. We looked in Tromsø, and both days in Alto went looking, and in Lofoten Islands we went looking, and you know what, there are really not very many Northern Lights at all t-shirts to choose from. So if you want to get the one that happens to be the best, this is it. And so there's a link below if you would like to order one. We benefit just a teeny tiny bit when you do. I just wanted you to know that. But anyway, it's just really fun. We have had the best time. What an amazing group. I'll talk to you some more about that as we get closer to the end and once we're home, but we could have not have asked for more. Now, NCL has made an announcement. They want to remind everyone that they recommend that passengers bring their passport with them, even on closed loop cruises. What's a closed loop cruise? A closed looped cruise departs round trip from the United States and it comes back to the same port. So if you leave from Fort Lauderdale, you return to Fort Lauderdale. And historically, a lot of the times when the places that they visit, cruise passengers can get away with not having to take their passport on the cruise with them. They can get by with a certified copy. That's an original, not just like a photocopied copy of your birth certificate and your photo ID. So that has historically, well, it still does work on a lot of these cruises, that unless you're going to a place that very specifically requires cruise passengers to bring their passport. But if something happens to you while you were on that cruise, either you are off the ship and you get hurt, you have to stay on the island or whatever place it is that you're visiting, and you don't have a passport, it's really hard to come back to the United States. You have to jump through some hoops and get all the forms that you need to be able to come back. And so Norwegian is once again reminding people that it really is the best policy to take your passport. And I stand with that too. I'm not going without my passport. I have a passport. We take it with us when we go on cruises, and even just to go to Alaska, you have the stop in Canada that is required, and you can get away without your passport, but we always take our passport. It's just it's a good safety measure, and it's good to have a passport anyway, because you never know when the chance might come up that you could go visit somewhere you really wanted to visit, and so you need to have a passport. The next item for you all is Singapore. This is a really interesting story to me. So apparently this gentleman sent World Resort Cruises, this cruise line there in Singapore, he sent them an email and said, if you don't give my money back, then I've got a bomb on your ship that's going to blow up and all the passengers are going to drop into the ocean. And so immediately the officials took all the steps. They did a very thorough check of the ship, and there was no bomb on board. And within a few hours of him sending that email, the officials were able to arrest him, and now he's in a lot of trouble. I just thought that was really an amazing way to ask for your money back, and I hope the gentleman does okay. Anyway, just wanted to tell you that that happened. That can really worry a lot of people when things like that happen, and yeah, that just barely happened. Now the next thing we need to talk about here, let's talk about the Sun Princess for 1 minute. Yesterday my video was all about Spellbound. Now Spellbound is the new thing that Princess is doing. They've been teasing with that door, showing a little glow behind it for quite some time now. And if you missed my video yesterday, go back and watch it. I apologize, we were late getting it out because we were so busy watching the Northern Lights. If you missed our live yesterday from the Lofoten Islands, we did our best to do it as soon as we got back from the ship from our excursion and day in town. We did our live just because I wanted you to see the beautiful scenery and tell you how everything was going on board. So if you missed that, catch that as well. But this thing was Spellbound. Clearly, with what Princess is doing with the Sun Princess, they are not, and I don't work for Princess, by the way, but I love to sail on Princess, and so that's why this matters to me. And I know a lot of you too do as well, so it matters to you. So with the new Sun Princess, we see a different ship. A lot of people actually have told me it seems like Carnival. People that love sailing on Carnival have told me you take their big Mardi Gras, their big celebration, you tweak it a little bit, and you've got the Sun Princess. So I am really excited. I get to go on the celebration the first week in November, and then Gordon and I are going on the Sun Princess on the inaugural, which sails on February 8th. So it's kind of fun. I'll get to see and see what I think. But they've got not only that Park 19 area where they're adding in a few things to entice families and have a little bit more activities for people, but also with this Spellbound, I don't think anybody offers an experience at sea that is anything like this. So go ahead and watch that video. It's quite the deal. It sounds like you're going to be in 3 different rooms. You go to the music room, you meet the spirit named Isabella who's going to talk to you about her sailings on the Sun Princess. You go to the parlor bar where you're going to meet Artemis, have an illusionist there to introduce you to them. I'm guessing you maybe get a drink there, maybe not. And then because they say that they're going to also have fancy cocktails. And then you go on into the 30-person theater to watch the show. So we'll be keeping our eye out, but I'm kind of excited to see new things, and I'll try that once. I hope I get the chance to try it on the brand new Sun Princess. I can't video it like I told you yesterday at their Hollywood Magic Castle in Hollywood. You can't do any videoing because it's illusion and it's magic, and you might video something they don't want out to show what that magic really is anyway. So I'm not going to video it, but I can do a good job of telling you about it. So stick with me, okay? The next thing, you know what, I hear again and again and again, people talking about dining, and truly the dining experience on a cruise ship is a big deal. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just because you want to eat all the time, because I know there's some people think that's why people go on a cruise, and we all go on cruises for different reasons. But to me, dinner time on a cruise ship is special from the standpoint that, with our group, it's a really nice time that we all get together and visit. It's very special. When it's just Gordon and I, it is really nice that the two of us get to sit down to dinner together, don't have interruptions like we often do at home. We just have a really nice time. It's a wonderful time to visit and reflect. It's just a really special thing. So a lot of people have different ways that they like to dine. Some people don't want to have a set dinner time. They would like to just go on a whim every night, and when they feel hungry or fit it in between shows that they like or music in different locations, and that works perfect. Other people really enjoy knowing that at a certain time they are going to sit down for dinner. That's what we've done with our group, because how else would you do it with trying to communicate with everybody, and you don't want some people to think, oh, it was 6 again tonight, but it was really 7:30 because 2 nights ago it was 7:30 anyway. So it really, we have had a set time. Now, there are different ways to get a set time for dinner, but don't give up. Don't think that because Princess doesn't say they have traditional dining anymore, don't think you can't have that. So a few notes on that. First of all, in the app, make reservations in your app. You can do it so that you make a different time every night if you want to, or you know what, you can go eat without a reservation. Don't be thinking that if you want to eat in that main dining room, it has to have a reservation. Nope. They actually have two sides, two entrances to each of the main dining rooms. One of them always says no reservation, and then reservation on the other side. So just go get in the line that applies to you, okay? The other thing to know about that is if you get on board and you don't have a set dining time, and you weren't able to get the time you wanted in the app or whatever, right then, go talk to the maitre d' in one of the main dining rooms. One of the main dining rooms, they're open and sitting there so that you can talk to them about the size of table that you want and what time you want to eat dinner. You might have to be flexible a little bit about which of the main dining rooms you eat in, but just go there right when you get on board. And but I really think, honestly, yes, that's a great backup, but I would definitely just do it in my app before I go, and keep watching the app, because sometimes, number one, the app is flaky, it doesn't always work right, but also people cancel and redo reservations all of the time. So you might find out that you keep looking, and the first time you look, 6 o'clock isn't available. In a few days or a week later, 6 o'clock might be available. Another really nice thing is call your travel agent, and she'll be delighted. I call Princess and make reservations for people. If I can't get it going in through the system to do it, I actually will call and do it. So there's another really good backup. Finally, if you love the extra attention at dinner time, and this is before we have, well, this applies now to the ships that Princess has, but also on that Sun Princess, do reserve class dining. Because reserve class dining, you have a reserved area of the main dining room on the ships that Princess now has, and you always can go. You don't need to have a reservation. And every time you go, your table is going to be waiting for you. You're going to have the same server, and you never have to wait. How perfect is that? Every night, you're going to have an additional menu item. You're going to have the same menu that is offered to the rest of the people who eat in the main dining room, but you also are going to have an extra entree available that you can choose from if you would like. Some of the evenings, they cook those right there, and they have smelled like heaven. For the first time, I was like, oh, I wish I was sitting over there so I could try that. So it's a really lovely option. Once we get on and have the Sun Princess, going to be there's a signature dining room for people in their suites and everything, and there's a reserve dining room for people in reserve class mini suites. It's going to be lovely. So keep those things in mind. And another thing, well, that doesn't matter right now, but just know that there are really a lot of options with this. And so don't give up. Don't think that you can't have a set time to eat dinner with the same server. You can also go present yourself at the main dining room at the same time every evening, but it would be a lot harder, I think, to get the same table and the same server. So if you really enjoy that, ask in advance, make your reservation, okay, in the app. The next thing I wanted to make sure everybody knows about is it is really just kind of fun. Princess is really trying to up their game on what they sell. So when I was on the Island Princess last, I showed you all the big differences in the gift shop, because historically it had been that we had seen a lot of Princess branded merchandise in the gift shops and on sale on the ship, and then it all disappeared. So we were to the point that it was just kind of like going to the mall that you could go, and that's really, I can do that at home. And so I was really glad on the Island Princess to see a lot of Princess merchandise back. Then on the Emerald Princess, they had some there as well when I was just on the middle of September. And on the Island Princess, they even have more now than they did when I was on here in July. And so that's amazing. But some fun things that I've noticed is we were up sitting in the buffet one afternoon, and one of the crew members came around and they were selling little, I think they're shot glasses. To me, they look like pretty little candle holders, but I also think they're shot glasses. You could get them in different colors, and they had the little Princess Sea Witch insignia on them. We also noticed today, Gordon's going to put in videos, we were watching the wake show. I always enjoy that. It's just fun to see. We have a really good cruise director on board. I have never had a bad cruise director, I'm just telling you that. He does a really good job. And so we were watching, and they have printed out on metal, which is kind of cool. And it looks like it's about an 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10, something like that. Printed on metal recap of the voyage. And it's got the Island Princess with the Northern Lights, you can see in the picture, but that is printed out on metal. That is something you can buy if you want to. And if you don't want that printed on metal, they even have a mug that has the picture that is clearly photoshopped the Island Princess with the Northern Lights there, and you can see that picture as well that I put up. So they are selling that as well. I like that they're thinking out of the box at different things to sell that people will actually enjoy to take home. I know all of us like different things, so not everybody is going to choose the same thing, but some things to take home that you might remind you of the wonderful time that you had on board. I thought it would be really fun to ask you, what do you wish they would sell? What would be a really fun souvenir for you to have to take home to remember your cruise? And I know we're all different. You've probably heard me mention I love to get sweatshirts. It's because all winter long, of course, you know, I get dressed up when I go to work, and I'm dressed up often at home if I have Zoom calls, but if I don't have to be dressed up, I love to put on a cozy sweatshirt. So I buy a lot of sweatshirts when we go places, and so then as the ones I've had forever get worn and everything, then I rotate those out. But I really enjoy that. So I would really like a sweatshirt that had Princess on there with Northern Lights and Norway. I would have bought that. So tell me what you all think would be wonderful. And I know it's hard for Princess to rotate because how many people are going to buy a sweatshirt? How many people are going to buy a t-shirt? I get that, but that's one thing that I would really enjoy. So thought I would throw that out there. Let me know below though some of the things that you would enjoy, because not everybody wants a sweatshirt and they are bulky. And so that's always a consideration with packing to get them home. Alrighty, the last thing for today, then I'm going to tell you about the Lofoten Islands and what we did yesterday. So Lavazza coffee, it's been, gosh, a few months now since I told you about Princess was going to start having Lavazza coffee on board. And Lavazza coffee is out of Italy. It's a big deal. I happen to know that Celebrity also has Lavazza coffee, which I think shows that it's a good brand. And here's the whole thing. So one of our Let's Go family members in our group told me this today. And then when I was upstairs this evening, it's Greek night. So I just wanted to go see what they had, right? So I noticed that they had the new containers out. So we've got pictures of that as well. But historically on Princess, they have served coffee that was made out of syrup. So they'd have the syrup, they would dilute it with hot water, and there was your coffee. And that's what they had. And now though, I guess enough people complained on this cruise about the coffee that they got out the new Lavazza coffee, which is actually brewed coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know, but people who know told me, okay? And so that is on offer up in the buffet now. So all of those of you who have been hoping that they would have better coffee, there you go. I'm thinking it must be pretty good. And so if you are sailing on a Princess ship and they don't have Lavazza coffee, ask them if they've got it. Maybe they're just trying to use up the rest of their syrup to be able to start using that. And if you nudge them, they might go ahead and start serving it. I think that's a great step forward. I think people will really enjoy their coffee much more. Thought that was kind of fun. So let me know which ship you have been on, if they have been serving the Lavazza coffee up in the buffet. My guess is that when they make the nice coffee in the International Cafe and in that the bars there that you ask for a coffee, I would hope that they would have nice brewed coffee there, especially with your specialty coffees. But it's awesome that it's up in the buffet now. So let me know what ships have it and what ships don't. I really appreciate you all sticking with me. Now, yesterday in the Lofoten Islands, it was absolutely beautiful. We got there at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and Gordon and I got on the tender at about 10 to head into the town. Now, I've been talking to you about how in the different towns that we've been in, Tromsø and in Alta both days, and then in the Lofoten Islands, if you wanted to use the shuttle to go into town, which in all three of those places is quite a distance, can you walk that far? Yes. Do you necessarily want to use your time in port to do that or to see more? You'd probably like to spend your time seeing more and doing more. But of course, everybody do what you want. That's great. But anyway, it's been $19.95 every time for an all-day pass. In Alta, it was $19.95 a day to use for an all-day pass. You can go back and forth as many times as you want. Same thing yesterday in Lofoten Islands. Now, I think it's wonderful they have these shuttles. I don't mind paying $19.95 a day for each one of us per person. It's okay. The reason that I had mentioned it in the videos the other day is because when we had been on this cruise previously, we had taken shuttles and they didn't cost extra. that was just my point of letting you know that this is something new. Alrighty. But I am really glad they offer them, because if they didn't, then we would all be lined up waiting for a taxi to take us, right? And some of these places it's hard to find a taxi, or there's not very many taxis. So wanted to bring you up to date on that. And the one in the Lofoten Islands there, they take you from the little area there where where the tender drops you, the water shuttle, and they drive you into the little town called Leknes, Leknes, and there's a shopping area there, there's a town area that you can walk around, and then you can go back whenever you want to where you get picked up, which is by the Circle K. If you want to find the Circle K by the shopping center on the map there in that town, go back, and then they'll take, the next stop is in Gravdal, right close, it's across the street and down just a little bit from where the Redwood Church is. It's not called the Redwood Church. It's just a church made out of wood painted red. Okay, so we enjoyed that. We got off, we walked up to it, and really enjoyed that. So we got to see that. Then we hopped back on the bus again, and they took us back to the tender port. If we would have wanted to ride that again, we could have. Or if we had not wanted to get off on the stops, you don't have to. Okay, that's how that works. When we got back, we went ahead and right where you get off the tender there's a little gift shop with a bunch of different souvenirs, and then you can also just go ahead and wait. So we just waited. It was about a half an hour or so until it was time to get ready to go on the excursion. I will tell you this, I thought I had my tickets with me and I lost them, the tickets for our excursion. So what do you do when that happens, right? Because you have to have that ticket to give them, or they won't let you on the bus, and they shouldn't, because that's how they get paid, right? They present those tickets to Princess, the independent tour company does. And so I asked one of the Princess people who were in charge of excursions. She was really kind, really nice about it, because it was my fault. And she radioed back to the ship, and they were able to look and see that we were signed up. So she just gave me a handwritten ticket that they had filled out for Gordon and I. So if anything like that happens, don't think all is lost. Go talk to them. It doesn't mean you can't go on the excursion, okay? Anyway, so we did that, and it was a really nice excursion. It was an easy drive, I think is what they call it, around Lofoten. It lasted for 2 or 3 hours, something like this. And they took us to 3 different places. We got to go see a beach, which was beautiful, just so beautiful, and a couple of beautiful viewpoints. We really, really enjoyed it. We had an all-day excursion booked, and Princess canceled it. And it was because the tour company had to cancel it, so we were not able to do that. We had chosen what we did the last time we were here in 2018 because it was such a spectacular day, and so we really missed not getting to do that again, but we really enjoyed what we did, and I'm glad that we did it, because they didn't just drive us around the little town. They took us out, like I said, clear out to a beach, and we got to see all the sheep and the cows and all these kind of rocks, and just so much scenery, and it is spectacular there in the Lofoten Islands. Then we just waited in line for the tender to head back to the ship again. But we had a really great time. One thing I will tell you in coming to Norway that you really should try is try all the different kinds of candy they have, if I haven't told you that. They have lots of different little packaged up kinds of candy, but my favorite thing is some of the grocery stores that you go in, most of the grocery stores, they'll have like a display that has like a long like part of a wall with all the little bins, you know, that you just lift up the lid and they have the little scoop, and there are so many kinds to try. It's really fun to try them, buy them and try, you know, the ones that look good to you, and then see what you really like, and have a little bit more. Maybe at the next place, try some new ones, maybe get an extra couple of pieces of the ones that, you know, you really like. To me, that's a really fun way to try things. And there are, of course, are eating places that you can eat. We've noticed that there were bakeries, there's little cafes here and there. So if you would like to try some of the other cuisine, you can do that too. So just wanted to let you know about that. If you've got any questions about Norway, any questions about anything else about the Island Princess, let me know. I'm delighted to find out for you. And just want you to know that we're having a wonderful time here on board. I don't see the ship falling apart at all. I think they are taking really good care of her. I think she has another 1,000,000 miles in her, if not more. Truly, they are taking really good care. At some point, I'll have to look and tell you when her next dry dock is, but the Island Princess's future is bright. So wanted to tell you that. I'll be they come in here. Got shuttle buses, and then they're going to take you over here to the center of town. Alrighty, so right here is where they drop you off. They reference the Circle K, so it's right behind the Circle K. You come back to the same place when you're ready to go back. And then you just walk, it's not very far. And then right here is the shopping center. And we noticed in Alta that's how they have their shops as well. My guess is it's due to the weather, you know. It's cold so much. So we noticed that right through here is the Lofoten Bakery. If anybody would like to have something at the bakery. Okay, Gordon just pointed out the crosswalk is over here.
Overall, not only Lofoten, also in others, they use it to make their also like fish soups.
Where do they send the boats? For fish soup. To where? Nigeria. Oh, thank you. I was thinking about the tractor in front of us and forgot to listen on that part.
We have now a tractor in front of us, and therefore we cannot drive very fast. So the Lofoten, under the name Lofoten, are known since the time of the Vikings, and the name Lofoten, translated into English, means the claw of a lynx, because this archipel, when you look from the top, from a drone or so, it looks really like the claw of maybe a lynx, maybe a fox, or a wolf or so. And back in the time, only this island, Westbergsøya, was called Lofoten. But then in the Middle Ages they extend the name to all of the islands. Since the 1960s, or since 1963, all these major islands are also connected by a road. This is the E10. And also here in Norway called the King Olav Street, because back in the time, 1963, it was the King Olav, the father of the current king, that inaugurated this long Europa Street. And in the 70s then, they built up also a bridge, which is at the beginning of the Vesteralen Islands, and therefore, if you like, you can also come by car, and you can drive from here, or vice versa, from Europe, all the way down here to the Lofoten, till you come to the west end, which is the city called Å. This A and the bagel on top of the A. Last time I came here 6 weeks ago, one of the drivers explained me that Å is the last letter in the alphabet, and therefore Å is the last city in the west, and therefore it has only this short name. So we are almost arrived at the harbor of Waldstedt. Let me check the time schedule. And we have here 15 minutes photo stop. By the way, the temperature in the bus, is this okay for you, or is it too hot, too warm?
That's good. Good.
Very good. if something is to change, then please raise your hand and tell me, and I will have the driver to make it more comfortable for you. So this is one of these typical smaller fishing villages that we can see here on all of these islands in the Lofoten, and these typical fishermen boat houses that we can see here on the right hand side. Some are now painted in yellow, some are still painted in red, and these are the typical Rohrbohr houses. In the 1800, 1900th century, a lot of foreign fishermen came from all parts of Norway here to the Lofoten to work for the codfish season. And in order then to have space or to have them somewhere to live, they built up these fishermen houses. Nowadays, the fishing industry doesn't need anymore that much people. And the boats are also quite modern and much easier to handle, and therefore all these old fishermen houses are converted into cottages for tourists. Here on the right hand side then we have the old harbor, and usually we stop here, he does the same, and please wait to get up until he made his maneuver. He will most probably then go backwards now here. No, the harbors are always ice-free, so there will be no difficulty. So they're operating all year round. Not only like here on the Lofoten, but all the harbors, also in the Arctic, like Tromsø, or further up like Alta, Kirkenes. This was one of the reasons why during the Second World War the Germans invaded Norway, to have access to these harbors. And usually in winter, so like in December, January, February, Lofoten is also a destination for skiing. So many slopes and also facilities like ski lifts are present here on the Lofoten. Then spring is usually between April and May, so everything is getting warmer, the days getting longer and longer, and here in Lofoten it starts also then that the flowers and foliage of the trees and so is so in the 1800s, let's say 1800s, when all these islands were not connected, only the major islands had bigger churches, and then it was really hard for the people from the surrounding islands to go every Sunday. And you can see it or observe it very good from the shape of the mountains that are more like pointed, and they are more like raw and lots of more cliffs. This is most likely due to the fact that on the mainland in or 2 million years ago there were big ice layer that were like 3-4 kilometers thick. So that was an enormous weight that pushed the Earth, the surface of the Earth, down for more than 150 meters, from the current level. And then with the time, warmer periods came in and melted a huge amount of the ice. Therefore, the water level of the ocean rised up and pushed the remaining ice up. Then the pressure on the surface of the Earth was not that heavy anymore, and also then the pressure from inside the Earth pushed the surface up, and this caused then a movement. It was so heavy that it could also like move boulders, and boulders big like houses with a weight of like 100 tons. And with the time then this movement and this push of not only like boulders and stones, but also of the soil and so on, shaped this fjord landscape in the landscape here in Norway. And you see therefore so many fjords. And 10,000 years ago the last ice age ended, so also the remaining ice melted, and therefore now the force from inside the Earth pushed still the surface. So if you miss one, just come to me and I will give it then back to you. So we have now still a little bit to drive, like 20 minutes, until we come then to another stop. And as I mentioned before, also there you have then the restrooms, but there the restrooms are free, so you don't have to pay for that, for the use. So maybe this could be also an information for other people. So I was asked to the type of rocks that are here present in these mountains. What you can see is boulder. These are usually granite. They call it here black granite, or like these gray stones that you see here. These are nice. This is also.
Be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.